All right. Hey guys. So basically today we are going to talk about we're gonna move away from diving in deeper into HTML, and we're gonna dive into a styling framework that's used throughout all web development cycles. All front end needs at least have heard of Bootstrap. Um, Bootstrap is basically what you would call a collection of predefined CSS stuff. So nandiyan na lahat sa'yo. Basically, it will help all of your CSS and majority of your styles during web development. So di mo na kailangan na isa-style isa-isa yung mga headers. Di mo na kailangan isa-isahin yung mga links, yung mga buttons kasi predefined na siya lahat. So just to give you an overview of what Bootstrap can do. So basically, it has a few components. So you can have styled paragraphs like this. Um, you can have colored links like this, headers. You can have badges uh, like this, header badges. What we're gonna dive into today is one of its component, which is called the buttons, which is gonna be on your buttons for the last project that you did on your portfolio. So I'm gonna provide you the links of all these stuff, but basically we're gonna use buttons to make our buttons nicer. And then another thing we're gonna do, we're gonna have is um, the layout system. So the layout system for a Bootstrap is really important because it's gonna lay out your whole page basically. So the way it works is it has 12 columns if you define it. So it's based on rows. So you create a row and then another row and then another row, and these rows are divided into columns. Basically, one column is equal to so one row is equal to 12 columns. Um, so yeah, that one. And, so it somewhat looks like this. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. Yeah, so somewhat like this. So a whole row, uh, a whole row would basically, yeah, just a second. So let's increase that. Yeah. So, so that. So somewhat like that. A whole row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's still pretty much. And then columns of 3 and stuff like that. But the good thing is it always aligns it and groups it in a grid system like this. So yeah, so that's that. And then if you also explore the parts of Bootstrap. It has like navigation. We'll talk about navigation on the next part when we try to update um, our navigations for our whole portfolio page. But if you can do it yourself, then that's gonna be good. So one helpful thing for Bootstrap is the modal that they offer. So modals are basically like pop-ups. So if like you click it, something opens up. It looks very professional, and it's really nice. So you can do that with Bootstrap. There's a lot of things you can do with Bootstrap, but like with Bootstrap, your CSS and styling is pretty much handled. Everything you can pretty much design a whole minimalist website and even advanced website with just Bootstrap as a base HTML. That's how the base CSS. That's how powerful it is. So that's why we're gonna use that throughout the whole portfolio. All right. So the first things first. Just like before, basically you need to create uh, a new file, save it as an index.html, um, and then shift exclamation enter so that you can have uh, the template that we had before. You can save it, and then the next thing you would do is go to getbootstrap.com docs. I'm gonna send you the whole link. I'm gonna put it there. Basically, you need to include the CSS down the header, and then include all the JavaScript. So you just click copy, put the JavaScript before the before the whole thing, and I so with that you pretty much have a Bootstrap ready page. So you should be able to start creating Bootstrap template like hello, this has Bootstrap. It's that. So if you save that and then you open your downloads page and then the index, and it will show you a header without install, but it changed the font for you, which is nice. So you need to compare with everything. It's just small sets of color, but it's really nice to keep everything consistent. Um, and then what you could do, um, so after you have that, you can test out the grid system by creating a container. A container is basically a container of your whole page. Yeah, in the simple definition. So you have div, class, container. So everything that comes after here is inside the container. So you're gonna have div, class, row. So as I mentioned before, row is basically a row. Parang oh, row nga. Row. Hindi. Tapos after row, you can add another row. class md1 um, is basically telling that create a column that's only one in width, so this size. So and if you put call md2, it's going to create two and so on and so forth. So so this guy, so I'm going to create 12 of them. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10 11. So that's going to create I think if we're gonna style it like that, it's gonna show no. So we're gonna add a padding bottom 10 px 20, 20 px. Hopefully it shows the inside of the whole thing. You can explore this link right here to show to see like the card, the list grouping and stuff like that. Okay, I think it needs some content inside. Just a second. Alright, yeah, with that style, and it kind of looked like this. Not sure if you can see it. So basically, it created rows um, that are centered in your whole page, and it's showing all the rows basically in the whole column. If you add another column to that line, it's gonna move to the next line because it just takes in um, 12 columns in a single row. Hope that makes sense. So and then just to show if you want to divide it into like 6 parts. So the second row is going to be divided into um, yeah, a column with size 6, and so on and so forth. If you're going to divide it into like columns of 3, as long as the size matches, sums up to 12, then it's going to line it up inside of that row. So which is nice. So that's that's how Bootstrap layouting works in a nutshell. And then so the way you create a button, let's put another row that has a button, because before we had this is a default button. So bef- before the first few lessons, we had a button like this. Let's put it inside a column. And insert. So I'm going to put it inside a row that has a width of 12, so that you can see the layout of the whole system properly. So this is what we had before, right? So this button right here doesn't look very nice. If you So what you can do is you can go to the buttons area and then look for the styles that you want. Like maybe we wanted to have a color color blue, so we're going to look for that primary. So it's going to be, you just copy this style and then add it in the class of that button, and then it's going to do all the magic for you if you refresh. So you have a nice button right now. So that's Bootstrap in a nutshell. I really hope you guys dig deep into this one, because we're gonna do we're gonna really use this for all the portfolio stuff, um, for the rest of the whole project, so that you can have your portfolio and you can say that I'm somewhat of an expert of Bootstrap, that I had already experience with creating my own portfolio page, and you can tell that to your clients and they'll be really impressed with that. Even if you're just starting out and you already know Bootstrap and not just your basic day-to-day HTML, they they'd be they'd be they'd be impressed with it, since you're not that deep into web development yet and we're already diving into Bootstrap, so which is nice. Yeah. So your assignment for this week is fairly simple. We're not going to dive and create a new page for you. We are basically going to update what you had before. So we are going to update your portfolio page. So you're gonna change the whole page to implement um, Bootstrap. Include these scripts and include the style, and then change the whole layout to follow the Bootstrap grid system. So you have columns for your navigation that we had before, and then change the button. Um, Let me actually show you what I mean. All right, so I want you to change these buttons to be buttons like these, and then I want you to change this button also, so that it would follow the same styling of these buttons. And then I want these navigation to implement the grid system that I just showed you, this type. So I want you to do that with the menu, and then I want you to wrap everything into Bootstrap, so that so you create a row for this, create a row for this, and then a row for that, and then style them accordingly and use all the Bootstrap that you can. Yeah, that's your assignment for the week. Just clean up everything and make everything Bootstrap enabled, and then take a look at navigation next, so that you can start playing with it. All right, that's it for now, and I wish you all good luck and have fun doing it.